And coming up next on our edition of Home Track Heroes from Evergreen Speedway, our Northwest Pro 4 trucks. I want to remind you that this segment is brought to you by Northwest Motorsports. They're the largest truck dealer on the West Coast with lifted trucks, diesel trucks, and custom trucks. Northwest Motorsports with locations in Linwood, Puyallup, and Marysville. Northwest Motorsports, a proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway. Who we got in this one, Tom?
It's championship night for the Pro 4 trucks. Starting on the pole in the 6 car will be Aaron Green. Outside of Aaron in the 35 car will be Haley Wilkinson. In row 2, the 21 of Nick Nicholson Jr. Outside of Mr. Nicholson in the 53 will be Doug Wilkinson. Row 3 is 83, Michael Vaughn. He's sponsored by Marion Armstrong and John L. Scott Realty. Outside of him in the 43 car, it's Rick Shaw.
Yeah.
In the 4th row, the 98 car of Christopher Whisman. And outside of Christopher is the 8 car of Shane Green, who's sponsored by Dear Old Dad.
Good deal. In the 2J is Caden Holmes, sponsored by J2 Racing. In the number 4 car, our friend Pete Brady. In the 22, he came into this race as the champion. We'll see how he ends up. It's going to be pretty much a slam dunk. But in the 22 is Jason Majors. In the 78 truck, Timber Bjornson. And rounding out the field, brought to you by Hat Trick Northwest, is Greg Bond. 30 laps coming up. As Tom had mentioned, this is their championship night, and it's important to note that these guys they're a very independent group of people. Mm-hmm. They have their own rules. They keep track of their own points. They're really low maintenance, and that's why any racetracks love having them here. But they are underway.
You're right, and it's Haley Wilkinson leading him down into turn 1, followed by Aaron Green, Doug Wilkinson, and Nick Nicholson Jr. So a good first lap. Anytime you get through turn 1 and 2 cleanly, that's a great lap.
All right, these trucks just absolutely tailor-made for our 3/8 race course. What a great shot coming out of turn number 4 to complete lap number 1. Nice shot of that number 98 truck driven by Christopher Whisman as they are working the backstretch. Really cool to see our friend Rick Shaver in the 43 truck. You know, the guy, if you ever looked up racer in the dictionary, you'd see Rick Shaver's face there, because he's just so, you know, I can count on one hand how many races of Rick's that I probably called over my lifetime that he's actually won. But man, he just gives it everything he's got, and he can races when he can afford to, but is so ready to help anybody out. Just really one of the truly great guys.
These are 4-cylinder trucks, the Chevrolets and Fords and that sort of thing. But you're absolutely so right. When you've got Doug Wilkinson, you talk about him, Jason Majors, those guys, you know, they're the lifeblood. And
they are.
I mean, they're at the promoters meeting every year. They're working hard to build this group up. And this is a group that is starting to show those signs of stability, because they've been running here at Evergreen Speedway the last few years, staying a little closer to home, keeping the expenses down, not on the road traveling so much. And they're starting to get that car count that they so desperately need.
Well, one kind
of truck count.
There you go, dollar in the bucket for you. But one thing is, we see a good pass for the lead coming up here with Doug Wilkinson working on the inside of Nick Nicholson in that number 21 car. And as we say that, here comes Pete Brady. Look out for that number 4 machine as he is running that thing low out of turn 4. Washes up a little bit, but we still have a great race coming up with Nick Nicholson here as they're working lap number 7. Race for the races in this one is for second place.
You're right. You've got 6 trucks. Excuse me, 6 trucks.
Ding,
right
ding.
there. You can put a blanket over any one of those 2x2. You'd think that they were coming down to start the race, not completing lap 6, working lap 7. And we still haven't seen the champ stick his nose in there yet. That 22 truck of Jason Majors.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to between him and Doug Wilkinson in the number 53. Wilkinson has picked up several championships until Jason Majors came along and kind of put his dominance in there. It was a good move by the 98 of Whisman to take over the second place spot. Still working with Pete Brady now in the lead as they came out of turn number 2. So it's Brady, it's Whisman, and Nicholson Jr., your top 3 with Jason Majors. There he goes, Tom, and that's what makes a guy like Jason Majors so good, is he just quietly gets up there. There's not a lot of flash to him, not a lot of, you know, temper, not a lot of bumping and banging and beating. He just gets underneath you and just puts you away.
Well, he's been one of those 4-cylinder advocate guys.
Yes, he has.
You know, when they run their cars, not their trucks, he's been really, really tough in it. And, you know, this is a family operation. When you look at 2 Wilkinsons, 2 Greens, 2 Vaughns in the field, you can tell that these guys travel in as a group. They probably take care of each other very, very well. But, you know, Majors, he's just one tough race car driver. And he's kind of one of those guys, like I said, who stayed in that 4-cylinder stuff and hasn't branched out, because either he's happy there, maybe financially he's happy there, or whatever it is, but he's tough wherever he goes.
Major props we got to throw out to that number 4 truck of Pete Brady. And I'll tell you, if you ever really talk about a guy that has just consistently improved, not year by year, but race by race, it's been Pete Brady. That guy has done so well this season, but so cool to see how much he has come on and just works on his truck by himself. And I'm sure he's got buddies that help him out over east in the mountains. But and here we go, Jason Majors now moving up into 2nd spot, but really impressed with the run by Pete Brady.
And it's kind of interesting to watch Majors. Does a lot of passing going into the corners. Most of the time here at Evergreen Speedway, people set people up, you know, and pass them off the corner. But he's got this thing figured out, and he can dial her down in there and make that pass. And as you said, he does it nice, neat, and clean.
He does, and it's just so impressive to watch, and that's why he's going to looks being on the verge of picking up his 3rd straight championship in the Pro 4 trucks. There's the father and son team of the Greens right there as they come out of turn number 4. Nick and Aaron and Shane Green from Lake Stevens, local boys. Just love coming out here. And one thing I was kind of thinking about as you see a truck slow. No, Pete's still in the lead.
Okay.
It's another truck there.
Yeah.
The white one, boy. And
I thought Pete Brady had pulled it up. But, man, you know, you've only got 9 more laps. So if Majors is going to win this thing, he's going to have to leg it up just a little bit.
Here we go now down the backstretch. And one thing I was going to mention when this race first started, we were talking about how low maintenance these guys and gals are. But man, talking about a promoter's dream, this pro truck series. They can go into anywhere. They run their own show, take care of themselves, police themselves, clean up after themselves, which is amazing, and put on a great show. And this has been the best truck count we've had all season long here as part of Home Track Heroes. Good shot of Doug Wilkinson going by there, but you just so impressed with how this thing goes. We're working lap number 19 out of 30 for championship run for our Northwest Pro 4 trucks with Pete Brady, Jason Majors, Christopher Whisman, Doug Wilkinson, and Nick Nicholson Jr. in the top 5.
You know, you talk about being, you know, easy to work with or self-sufficient group.
Yes.
You know, racetrack promoters have a lot on their plate. Not only do they normally have, you know, ticket sales they got to take care of and getting everybody in through the back gate, getting all the concessions and beer sales and everything else. On top of that, they've got to check race cars to make sure they're safe before they get on the racetrack.
Right.
They've got to officiate the race while it's going on. And then, of course, they have to check the cars after the race to make sure that they're legal. So there is a lot on the plate of a promoter, and the Hobbs family and everybody connected with them here at Evergreen Speedway do a great job of it. And there you see Majors ducking inside one of the slower trucks, and off they go down the backstretch of the 3/8 with just 9 more to go.
They have got 9 more to go. That was Rick Shaver in the 43 truck that they just went around, but it is all Pete Brady as he takes it down into turn number 1. Been kind of keeping an eye on that 4 truck. It's always fun when you've got a truck that is dominant as the 4 of Pete Brady's is. Kind of, it's neat to see where they're picking it up at. And one thing, when you do that, you find that they're hitting that same chunk of asphalt lap after lap after lap if they can do it. And now with Brady coming up into some traffic, as we're going to see a spin here. Shane Green in the number 8 is spun on the front stretch, so we will.
And he crossed the line backwards, so he gets credit for that lap.
He does. Way to go. So we'll bring it back upstairs for a little bit, but still pretty fun to watch these Northwest Pro 4 trucks. We'll have them back one more time here on Home Track Heroes on an upcoming championship night. As
a non-points race for them.
Yeah,
it's
just
kind of an
coming
exhibition.
out to have some fun.
You bet, because this is championship night for them.
Yeah, and it'll be cool to see Jason talk about what this championship means to him. Okay, we got him lined back up. Our Speedway Chevrolet pace car that's so graciously provided to us by the fine Chevrolet dealership right here in Monroe. This yellow Camaro with the beautiful Tracy DeYoung final scheme on it. They'll pull that thing off to the side. The most envied ride here.
And you know what? The last thing Brady wanted with 7 laps to go was a yellow, because now he's got the entire field bunched up on him. But a good restart as he heads on down into turn 1. Majors taking that look inside. Could have stuffed it in there. May have turned them both around, made the right choice, and backed off enough to let Brady get on down the road. But, you know, the last thing you want to see as a points leader with 6, 7, 8 laps to go is that yellow flag. Throw that thing away. I'm sure Brady is just so happy to get that restart going.
You know, you made that comment, and I thought, yeah, the last thing he wants to see is that 22 truck so close in his rearview mirror. But boy, Pete Brady has just got that number 4 truck absolutely hooked up tonight. And there he is, back running wide, coming out of turn number 4, takes it down low into turn number 1, and see Majors and Whisman kind of following in the tire tracks there. But Pete Brady now, as he's halfway down the backstretch, they'll have 4 to go when they come across the line this time by.
Good to see Whisman back there working hard. Just
there he goes.
Just a little bit of bump and run on Majors as they head down into turn number 1 at this point. And as you can see, Whisman kind of backed that truck in. Didn't drive it in. He backed it in like it was on dirt, but doing what he needs to do as they head off down the backstretch and 3 wide for just a second, coming off of turn 4 as they complete lap 27, just 3 more to go.
Good job by that. I believe that was the number 9 trucker, Greg Bond, getting out of the way. Maybe I may be wrong on that one too, but we're getting down to the end of the championship season. Oh, look at that. Pete Brady now hangs it wide, coming out turn number 4. 2 to go for the young man out from Eastern Washington.
And if you don't think Whisman's driving the wheels off that thing,
yeah,
he took it down into 3 and 4 just a minute ago, and it was broadside as he kind of slid her up the hill, because he knows the 22's coming and might just pay him back with a little bit of bump and run with it. Come down, the white flag is out, just 1 to go.
I think the biggest smile on the race course right now is probably for a couple of good reasons. In the 22 truck of Jason Majors, trying to, you know, just having a ball out there, trying to figure out how to get around Whisman, pick up 1 more spot. But to pick up the win, coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag out for the number 4 of Pete Brady, with Christopher Whisman in second, Jason Majors in third, Doug Wilkinson with a good 4th place finish, Nick Nicholson Jr. in the 21, Aaron Green, Haley Wilkinson, Michael Vaughn, Shane Green, and round in the 10th spot is Rick Shaver. So we'll bring him up to the Angel of the Winds winners platform, and I believe it's going to be Kyler Hope will be down there to get some reaction from these top 3. We'll go down to him in just a few minutes and see some good spins. And there's the champ. All hail the champ, Jason Majors, with a good smoke show.
Down here with 3rd place, Jason Majors, and you and Chris put on quite a show for 2nd place. Didn't quite have enough for the 4, but walk me through that battle with the 98.
Yeah, you know, it was fun. It's nice to race side by side and, you know, trust the guy you're racing with. He's come a long way this year, and he'll be one to compete here soon. We just missed it today. Truck was too free, driving the wheels off the thing, you know, but that's all I could do.
So with your 3rd place tonight, you secure the championship. Walk me through what that means for you, winning the Pro 4 Truck Championship.
Oh, it's big. I think it's the 8th championship in the truck, our 10th overall. Had the thing for 15 years, so really exciting for all my friends, all my family, all my sponsors to win another championship, and this is 3 in a row.
So give a shout out to everyone that makes it possible for you to come out and win championships.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my girlfriend Emily, my crew chief Matt, my parents, Popeye Energy, Vicky Smith, Extreme CMT, everybody who helps out. You know, it wouldn't be possible without the great sponsors who have been with me for several years now. Loose Wheel, there's just so many of them that I appreciate it.
Jason Majors, your 2020 Pro 4 Truck Champion. Down here at Chris Whisman, and you got around one of the toughest drivers in a Pro 4 truck and let alone mini stock to take over 2nd place. Walk me through that battle with Jason Majors.
Yeah, it was one hell of a battle. He's one tough guy to get around, and I saw him getting loose towards the end, and I capitalized on it and just went from there. And then I started getting loose, and I thought I was going to get passed by him again, so I was just trying to hold him off and catch Pete, but couldn't get there.
Who we need to thank for your 2nd place finish tonight?
All my friends and family, my buddies Dylan Stein, Sean Moyer, Kurt and his family for building and setting up the truck, and everybody who's helped.
Chris Whisman gets 2nd place tonight. Down here in Angel of the Winds victory lane with Pete Brady, driver of the number 4, and once you got the lead, you kind of checked out. Walk me through that race.
Oh, it was great out there. The truck was running really good. It was turning really good. There's a few slippery spots out there from the water, you know, but I drove it in a little too deep a few times, but you know, I was turning before I let off, so I was getting pretty darn deep. But they're tough competitors.
Who you need to thank for your win tonight?
Mark Northcutt Jr., my crew chief, Chris Melvin, crew, OK Produce, Jolly Green Giant, Fresh Choice, Central Welding, Hunter Farms, Brady's Welding. That's about it right now.
Pete Brady puts the 4 back in victory lane.